Bolivian rainforest in a helicopter at an altitude of 650 feet, they meticulously mapped the hidden urban landscapes below. What they unearthed were the remnants of a vast urban complex constructed by the Kasarabi people, who thrived in the region from 500 to 1400 AD. These weren't just scattered settlements. The LiDAR maps revealed sprawling urban centers, complete with pyramids, platforms, roads, canals, and causeways, all meticulously planned and executed. The Amazon, it turns out, was not an untouched wilderness, but a cradle of sophisticated urban civilization. A scientist from the German Archaeological Institute emphasized how European scholars had long dismissed the notion of ancient Amazonian cities, a misconception now shattered by the LiDAR evidence. The newly generated maps have pinpointed 26 sites, including 11 previously unknown to exist. Among the most prominent discoveries are the city sites of Landivar and Kotoka, featuring massive moat causeways extending outwards like the spokes of a wheel, connecting the main urban centers with smaller surrounding settlements. An intricate network of canals even linked these cities to rivers and a large lake, facilitating the flow of water throughout the region. For years, archaeologists had stumbled upon isolated ruins scattered throughout this area. However, the dense jungle canopy made it virtually impossible to connect the dots and discern any cohesive pattern. With the advent of LiDAR technology, the entire layout sprang to life, revealing that these seemingly disparate sites were, in fact, components of a far larger and more organized urban system. The evidence strongly suggests that these sites held a deeper significance, as everything is linked. Imagine a lost civilization, its structures arranged in a manner that hints at profound spiritual beliefs. This is the world of the Kasarabi culture. Perhaps not as widely recognized as the Maya, the Kasarabi nonetheless forged a vibrant society in a region fraught with peril, a land defined by annual floods that threatened to wash away all that they built. While the imposing Andes Mountains nearby boasted their own awe-inspiring monumental sites, the Kasarabi were pioneers, embarking on architectural endeavors unseen anywhere else. Their ingenuity extended to the creation of elaborate reservoirs, vast holding pools designed to capture and store precious water. This speaks volumes about their resourcefulness, painting a picture of a people who likely battled periodic droughts, a climatic hardship quite uncommon within the lush, rain-soaked embrace of the Amazon. It is possible that these very droughts, these devastating periods of prolonged dryness and hardship, ultimately sealed the fate of the Kasarabi. Around the year 1400 CE, these once thriving cities were abandoned, their inhabitants forced to seek refuge elsewhere, leaving behind only silent stones and the echoes of a forgotten past. A testament to human resilience, and a stark reminder of nature's unforgiving power. They also discovered fossils of early horses, giraffes, and even saber-toothed cats, Smilodon. To date, they have identified 43 distinct animal species from this remarkable site, amassing a collection of over 4,000 fossils. Another fascinating find from Turkey is a 64,000-year-old workshop located within the Enginasia cave. Evidence suggests that this workshop was in continuous use for an astounding 24,000 years. Inside, archaeologists discovered various tools, including flakes and blades, all manufactured within the confines of the workshop itself. In eastern Turkey, a farmer inadvertently stumbled upon a 1,000-square-foot mosaic dating back to the late Roman or early Byzantine period, buried just beneath the surface. Experts hail this find as unique to the region, remarkable for its complete preservation after all this time. The patterns displayed on the mosaic, countless trees, plants, and a fascinating array of animals that once thrived in what is now modern-day Turkey. The earth here whispers secrets, and archaeologists believe that more incredible relics lie buried, waiting to be unearthed. The work continues, the digging goes on. Our journey now takes us to the sun-drenched island of Sicily, where archaeologists have made a stunning discovery, a vast, ancient thermal complex. Imagine stepping back in time into the heart of this ancient city. Within its walls, They unearthed two magnificent rooms, their floors adorned with vibrant, intricately designed mosaics. A sprawling courtyard, embraced by elegant arched wings, hints at the grandeur of life here centuries ago. As the excavation continued, the city began to reveal itself piece by piece. New roads emerged from the earth, alongside the sprawling remains of a massive complex, and stretches of ancient stone walls that once formed the city's formidable fortifications. These incredible finds offer tantalizing glimpses into what this city might have looked like in its prime. A nagging question remains. Was this opulent bathhouse the creation of the Greeks or the Romans? Both civilizations left their indelible mark on Sicily, and the answer remains shrouded in the mists of time. Now, let's shift our focus to the world of technology. How vast is the gulf between the first rudimentary computer and the sleek machines we use today? The ENIAC, Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, born in 1945, often claims the title of the first electronic computer. But the story doesn't end there. Consider the difference engine, conceived by the brilliant English engineer Charles Babbage and built in 1822. This means over 2 centuries separate this invention from our modern era. However, the story takes an even more astonishing turn. Imagine, if you will, that at the dawn of the 20th century, divers stumbled upon a computer that predated them all, an artifact from over 2,000 years ago. In the year 1900, a team of divers was scouring the depths of the Mediterranean Sea, between the island of Crete and mainland Greece, in search of sea sponges. Instead, they discovered the wreckage of a sunken treasure ship, one of the most significant archaeological finds of its time. Scattered across the seabed were exquisite Greek marble sculptures and a wealth of other artifacts. Among these treasures, the divers recovered an unassuming piece of stone, roughly the size of a large book. Initially dismissed, it was relegated to the museum alongside the other finds. Months later, as archaeologists began to examine the block more closely, they were stunned to discover that it concealed a complex mechanism of bronze gears. This revelation sent shockwaves through the scientific community. According to all known historical accounts, such technology simply shouldn't have existed in ancient Greece. The technological prowess of that era was not believed to be so advanced. Scientists embarked on a quest to understand this enigmatic object, but were initially stumped. Dubbed the Antikythera mechanism, its purpose has remained a puzzle for over a century. The delicate nature of the device only added to the challenge. Having spent millennia submerged underwater, its internal components were corroded and fragile. Any attempt to manipulate them risked further damage. Over years of painstaking research, the object fractured into 82 separate fragments, presenting a formidable puzzle for researchers worldwide. Gradually, the secrets of the Antikythera mechanism began to unravel. It was, in fact, a sophisticated machine designed for astronomical calculations. Using X-rays, advanced computer tomography, and virtual modeling, researchers were able to partially reconstruct the original device. It was a marvel of engineering, comprised of over 30 interlocking rotating gears that drove a series of dials. Powered by a hand crank, this complex mechanism allowed the ancient Greeks to track the movements of the moon and sun, predict eclipses, and even schedule the Olympic Games. It was as if Silicon Valley had sprung to life in ancient Greece, with the brightest minds collaborating to create a revolutionary startup. The Antikythera mechanism stands as a testament to the remarkable astronomical knowledge and technological capabilities of people in the distant past. In its time, it was more than just a machine. It was a supercomputer. Data was inputted, and after a series of complex calculations, the results were displayed. In 2016, a breakthrough occurred. Scientists deciphered an inscription on the device containing over 3,000 symbols. It was essentially a user manual, providing instructions and explanations for the device's functions. The text contained a wealth of information, including details about eclipse colors, the movements of celestial bodies, and even astrological predictions. It was a comprehensive reference guide to the events unfolding in the heavens. The Greeks understood that all astronomical bodies in the night sky followed predictable paths, orbiting in planes close to that of Earth's orbit around the Sun. Ancient astronomers, however, lacked the means to precisely calculate these orbital paths, so they imagine a marvel of engineering crafted millennia ago, the Antikythera mechanism. Its primary function? To chart the heavens. Researchers found echoes of this incredible device in the writings of the Roman lawyer Cicero. He spoke of a calculating machine, a marvel crafted by the brilliant mathematician Archimedes. Cicero described how this machine could depict the movements of the wanderers, the ancient term for the 5 visible planets. Archimedes, a figure who predates the actual creation of the Antikythera mechanism. Could he have conceived the blueprints, the underlying designs that would later give birth to this incredible device? The mechanism itself was a symphony of gears and dials. By turning a handle, the operator set in motion a complex series of rotations, visible on the front and rear of the device. These dials then revealed the positions and movements of celestial objects. But the Antikythera mechanism was more than just a planetarium. It also contained an intricate astronomical calendar capable of tracking the dates of important events like the Olympic Games. Astonishingly, it could even predict the precise timing of eclipses. This device was, in essence, a powerful organizer, a tool for the most advanced scientists and wealthiest citizens of ancient Greece. Perhaps the most astonishing feature of the Antikythera mechanism was its capacity to adjust its observations based on the observer's location. This meant that ancient astronomers had to input different geographical coordinates to obtain accurate results. Think about that for a moment. Today, NASA employs multi-million-dollar computers powered by electricity, microchips, and countless lines of code to accomplish similar feats. And yet, over 2,000 years ago, the ancient Greeks achieved a comparable level of sophistication with this relatively small, purely mechanical device. This discovery fundamentally alters our understanding of ancient Greek technology. We knew they possessed advanced plumbing systems and harnessed steam power, but the Antikythera mechanism reveals a level of ingenuity that surpasses all expectations. Archaeologists had long assumed that ancient technologies relied on large, crude gears for tasks like powering windmills. Now, we see that they were capable of creating intricate, precise mechanisms that baffled modern scientists for centuries. Even now, divers continue to explore the seabed where the Antikythera mechanism was discovered, searching for further clues. They have already recovered artifacts such as ship nails and a bronze ring. These underwater excavations are fraught with danger and complexity, making the research a slow and painstaking process. Experts believe that the Antikythera mechanism wasn't a unique, one-off creation. It's plausible that the ancient Greeks produced similar machines. Perhaps some still lie hidden, waiting to be unearthed. Or perhaps, like so many other artifacts of the ancient world, they were melted down and repurposed. Bronze was a valuable commodity in those days, and a broken astronomical computer might have been seen as a source of raw material. Some researchers view the Antikythera mechanism as the distant ancestor of all modern. Trying to analyze the archives of the British Library's National Newspaper Collection, mountains upon mountains of historical documents, researchers are now collaborating with curators to develop specialized software capable of analyzing the vast amounts of data extracted from these collections. Computational linguists and historians will be able to delve deeper into the past, uncovering new insights into the evolution of society and culture. Their focus will be on key historical periods, tracking how advancements in technology have shaped various aspects of human life. Even in the realm of wildlife conservation, AI is making a significant impact. Monitoring certain species, such as those adorable seals that inhabit the harsh sea ice zone, can be incredibly expensive and challenging. However, with the aid of high-resolution satellites, researchers can now identify seals in aerial photographs, a significant step forward. But manually counting seals across vast expanses of icy terrain is akin to assembling a jigsaw puzzle of an endless blue sky, comprised of millions of identical pieces. It demands immense patience, and even then, Different analysts often arrive at different counts. Now, machine learning algorithms can be trained to recognize and distinguish individual seals in satellite imagery, automatically counting them with remarkable accuracy. This precise data allows researchers to monitor seal populations over time, gaining valuable insights into their behavior and habitat, leading to more effective conservation strategies. Picture this. It's 1898, and you're participating in an excavation at Saqqara, an ancient burial ground teeming with tombs and pyramids not far from Cairo. You're channeling your inner Indiana Jones, filled with the hope of unearthing a truly spectacular discovery that will catapult you to fame. Gold manuscripts, ancient treasure maps, the mummies of forgotten pharaohs. Then, you stumble upon a wooden bird. A wave of disappointment washes over you. It appears to be nothing more than a child's toy, albeit an old one. A simple, carved bird. Little do you know that years later, someone would propose a revolutionary idea that your toy bird was, in fact, a scale model of an ancient monoplane. This artifact, now known as the Saqqara bird, is crafted from sycamore wood. The bird has a wingspan of just 7 inches and weighs a mere 40 grams. A unique souvenir from ancient Egypt, one might say. It's over 2,000 years old and, at first glance, appears quite plain, lacking any intricate carvings of feathers. The artifact is adorned with intricate carvings and embellishments. Despite this, it possesses a clearly defined beak and eyes, lending it the appearance of a hawk, reminiscent of Horus, the revered deity. Its tail, however, is rather peculiar. It terminates in a squared-off shape and juts upward at an odd angle. It seems a segment is missing, leaving an incomplete appearance. Humankind has always been drawn to a good puzzle, and numerous interpretations of the bird's function have been proposed. The simplest explanation suggests it was a ceremonial object. Another theory posits that it served as a toy for a privileged child, perhaps a type of boomerang, a popular plaything in ancient Egypt. Yet another idea suggested the bird functioned as a weather vane. However, this theory has been largely dismissed due to the absence of holes or attachment points, save for the one added at the Cairo Museum to mount the artifact on a display stand. Thus, there's no evidence it was ever suspended. Almost a century after its discovery, Egyptologist Dr. Khalil Messiha advanced a novel theory that the bird was a scale model of a monoplane. He theorized that the artifact was originally fitted with a horizontal tailplane. Furthermore, the angle of its wings closely resembled those of contemporary aircraft, potentially providing the aerodynamic lift necessary for flight. Dr. Messiha also noted the ancient Egyptian practice of interring miniature models of technological innovations within tombs. Could it be that the ancient Egyptians conceived of the airplane as far back as 200 BCE? This would certainly ruffle the feathers of the Wright brothers, typically credited with inventing aviation, who achieved their initial powered flight in 1903. The most definitive way to resolve the question is to test the model's flight capabilities. However, the Cairo Museum is unlikely to permit such an experiment with one of its prized relics. Consequently, glider designer Martin Gregory constructed a replica from balsa wood. His conclusion was that even with the hypothesized tailplane, the model's flight performance was underwhelming. Case closed? Not quite. Unconvinced, the History Channel enlisted an aerodynamics expert to create another replica of the bird. Testing it under environmental conditions, mirroring those of ancient Egypt, the expert was impressed by the small plane's performance. If the ancient Egyptians did indeed invent a rudimentary airplane prototype during the time of the pharaohs, it would be a remarkable example of an out-of-place artifact, or oopart, an object demonstrably ahead of its time in terms of technology or historical context. The Saqqara bird isn't the only example of such a groundbreaking concept. In 1901, divers recovered the Antikythera mechanism from a shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera. This device has been called the world's first analog computer, dating back to approximately 100 BCE. The bronze mechanism could predict the positions of the sun, moon, planets, and stars, as well as lunar phases, upcoming solar eclipses, and even the moon's velocity across the sky. The identity of its users and its place of origin remain uncertain, but its precision and sophistication are undeniable, making it a technological marvel for its era. The first flushing toilets weren't invented in the middle of the 20th century, as some might jest. The ancient Minoans, residing on the Mediterranean island of Crete, and the Indus Valley civilization independently developed this ingenious invention around 4,000 years ago. Their plumbing and sanitation systems were so advanced that no superior designs emerged for another 2,000 years. One ancient Minoan lavatory was unearthed at the Palace of Knossos. It appears to have featured a wooden seat positioned above a channel that directed water from a rooftop reservoir into an underground sewer. Other versions utilized water from jugs. Only the wealthiest members of society could enjoy such luxury. Therefore, in the ancient real estate market, a flushing toilet would have been an unmistakable indicator of an affluent neighborhood. Automated doors may seem like a recent innovation from 1931. However, the underlying technology is far older, dating back to the 1st century CE. Heron of Alexandria, a mathematician and engineer, devised a hydraulic system to automatically open and close temple doors. Imagine a scene. A fire crackles merrily, its flames licking at the base of a brass pot. Beneath the pot, the fire blazes, generating intense heat. Inside the brass pot, water simmers, gradually heating up. This isn't just any pot of water, it's part of an ingenious invention. The inventor has cleverly connected the brass pot to a series of containers, which ingeniously act as weights. As the fire roars and the water heats, it begins to flow into these containers. With each drop, the containers become heavier, slowly descending and pulling on a network of ropes. It's a far cry from the automatic doors we take for granted today, the kind that slide open as we approach, without a second thought. Heron's door, however, was a different beast entirely. It took hours for the mechanism to complete its cycle and the door to finally open. There was absolutely no way to halt the process once it had begun. This is precisely why the doors were only opened once a day, just before the faithful entered the temple. It added an air of mystery and wonder to the temple ceremonies. Spooky, indeed. Now let's journey to Baghdad, roughly 2,000 years ago. Here it seems the very first battery was conceived. In 1938, a German archaeologist unearthed an intriguing object, an oval-shaped clay jar. Even today, scientists remain puzzled, unsure of its exact purpose and the identity of its inventor. One compelling theory suggests it was used for electroplating objects with precious metals. When filled with a mild acid, such as vinegar, this ancient battery could generate approximately 1 volt of electricity. Another, equally plausible theory posits that it served as a vessel for safeguarding sacred scrolls. And now, a leap forward in time. How about a pair of contact lenses designed by none other than Leonardo da Vinci? Back in 1508, the brilliant polymath conceived of a glass lens fitted with a funnel on one side. The idea was that you would wear this contraption filled with water to enhance your vision. It sounds rather uncomfortable, doesn't it? A century or so later, the French scientist René Descartes sought to refine this concept, envisioning a lens that made direct contact with the cornea. Hence, contact lenses, because they contact your eyes. The glass tube filled with liquid did indeed improve vision, but sadly, blinking became an impossible feat. Fast forward. You'll see fields of grain. Head south to Valencia, and olive groves dominate the landscape, producing oil and other vital crops. In the western regions, livestock reigned supreme, yet, despite their importance, the daily lives of these essential workers remain shrouded in mystery. We have frustratingly little information about them. However, step into the world of the Iberian upper class, and the picture sharpens. These were the individuals who controlled the agricultural wealth and employed skilled artisans. By the 7th century BCE, a distinct class of Iberian princes emerged, living lives of privilege. These elites engaged in trade with the Phoenicians and indulged in luxurious goods. Their burial practices offer a fascinating glimpse into their world. Cremation was the customary funeral rite among the Iberians, but the wealthy were interred in cemeteries laden with extravagant objects and sculptures. These finds provide invaluable insights into the fashions and hairstyles of the Iberian elite. Interestingly, around the 6th century BCE, a decline in elaborate burials suggests that these opulent funeral customs became exclusive to an even smaller, more select group. Meanwhile, the fate of the majority, the farmers, artisans, soldiers, and laborers who constituted the bulk of the population, remains largely unknown. Imagine another ancient civilization, seemingly advanced, vanishing without a trace. Researchers speculate that a massive earthquake may have been the cause, but definitive answers remain elusive. Now shift your attention to ancient India. Ancient Indian texts speak of magnificent chariots and entire palaces, known as vimanas, capable of soaring into the sky and traversing vast distances, even into space, in mere moments. Some dismiss these vimanas as mere mythology, but perhaps they were based on a real, advanced technology lost to time. According to the Vedas, ancient Indian religious texts, there existed the elephant vimana, boasting multiple engines, and other types named after animals and birds. Some were designed for local travel, others for journeys to distant lands, and still others for voyages to the moon and other planets. These vimanas were said to achieve incredible speeds and possess extraordinary abilities. One could become invisible, while another, shaped like a sphere and powered by the winds of Mercury, could generate a blinding ray like the sun and unleash a thunderous roar. All vimanas were supposedly indestructible and perfect for attacking enemies. Operating a vimana required extensive knowledge, much like piloting a modern aircraft. Pilots needed to master 32 secrets, encompassing the aircraft's structure and the art of takeoff and maneuvering without crashing. A vital skill indeed. The pilot was also expected to know how to appear and disappear, how to remain hidden, how to move swiftly, and how to control expansion and contraction, among other techniques. To conceal the flying machine from adversaries, pilots were instructed to ascend to the 8th atmospheric layer above the Earth and harness the power of dark solar rays. While some instructions sound fantastical, others contain elements that resonate with modern aeronautics. Sections of ancient texts dedicated to vimanas delve into details such as flight paths, pilot training, navigation, appropriate attire for pilots, and even recommended meals for long flights. Furthermore, there is extensive technical information regarding heat-absorbing metals, the specific metals used, and their melting points. Proponents of the theory that vimanas were more than mere myths argue that the ancient Indians would not have included such intricate details simply for the sake of a captivating story. Perhaps these flying palaces were real, technological marvels far ahead of their time, like many other remarkable Indian inventions. Travel back again to the 6th century BCE, where an Indian physician named Shasharuta authored what is essentially the original guide to medicine and surgery. He is revered as the father of surgery for his groundbreaking work. Shashuta meticulously documented hundreds of medicinal plants and described intricate surgical procedures. Imagine for a moment stepping back in time to witness the dawn of medical procedures. It was in ancient India that a medical pioneer laid out detailed instructions for reconstructing noses and transplanting skin from one part of the body to another. The original rhinoplasty method, a technique involving grafting skin from the forehead to rebuild a nose, is still employed by surgeons today. But its original purpose was far removed from modern cosmetic enhancements. These early nose reconstructions offered a lifeline to individuals who had lost their noses as punishment for crimes or as a result of violent altercations. Now, let's turn our attention to the brilliant minds behind the invention of zero. This seemingly simple concept is the bedrock of our modern digital world. Without it, there would be no binary code, no computers as we know them. Before the 5th century CE, people only conceived of a symbol to denote the absence of quantity. The invention of zero revolutionized mathematics, making addition, subtraction, and other operations infinitely easier. The oldest known zero can be seen etched into the wall of a temple in Gwalior, India, a testament to this groundbreaking achievement. Even earlier, around 1500 BCE, the Indus Valley civilization was utilizing meticulously crafted rulers. Fashioned from ivory, these rulers have been unearthed during excavations in modern-day Pakistan and northwestern India. These tools were indispensable in architecture, prized for their astonishing accuracy. Their units, each corresponding to slightly over an inch, were marked with precise subdivisions down to within 5/1000 of an inch. Imagine the skill and precision required to create such instruments thousands of years ago. Now, consider something less tangible but equally vital: standardization. This concept, the establishment of uniform rules and measures, has profoundly shaped our world. One of its most familiar applications is standard weights. Whether you measure in pounds or kilograms, you rely on universal weight measurements. We owe this to the merchants of the Indus Valley civilization, who, some 4,000 years ago, measured everything from grains to luxury goods using standardized weights. Their system incorporated both decimal and binary mathematics. Without advanced technology, they achieved remarkable precision, employing intricate calculations and even sand for construction. This art of standardization spread to Persia and Central Asia, laying the foundation for global weight standards. For those who find solace and strength in yoga, consider the debt owed to the ancient Indian sages. Over 5,000 years ago, during the Indus-Sarasvati civilization in northern India, yoga was first mentioned in the Vedas. Refined and developed over centuries, it evolved into a vast and complex teaching, encompassing over 200 sacred texts dedicated to achieving enlightenment. Around the beginning of the current era, a Hindu writer codified yoga into a system in his influential text, the Yoga Sutras. This transformed yoga into a comprehensive practice for rejuvenation and longevity, featuring poses that continue to be practiced on mats worldwide today. Yoga only reached the Western world in the 19th century, where it spread rapidly. Chess, the timeless game of strategy and intellect, also traces its origins to India. Its ancestor, Chaturanga, was a strategic board game that gained popularity around 3,000 years ago. This early Indian chess variant was played by 4 participants, rather than 2, on a board of 64 squares. Each player commanded 8 pieces, including pawns, kings, bishops, and knights. Instead of standard 6-sided dice, they used oblong dice. Players were aligned in 2 teams, determined by their seating positions. The modern form of chess is first referenced in ancient Indian literature, in a legend recounting how the wife of a villain named Ravana invented the game to entertain him. Finally, consider the word shampoo. It derives from the Hindi word shampoo, meaning to soothe or knead. The substance itself was invented in India in 1762 and was initially used for head massages, hence the name. This early shampoo consisted of natural oils and herbs. British traders, captivated by the concept, introduced it to England. Over time, this original head massage oil evolved into the shampoo we recognize today, yet its Indian origins remain. Unlike the ancient Greeks, who favored animal skins, the people of India began cultivating cotton. Imagine, for a moment, life in India during the 5th and 4th centuries before the current era. Here, skilled artisans meticulously weave cotton threads, giving rise to fabrics that would soon captivate the Mediterranean world and beyond. These exquisite textiles, born from Indian soil, became highly sought after. But cotton wasn't the only textile treasure to emerge from this ancient land. Jute and wool, too, trace their origins back to India's rich cultural heritage. And then there's cashmere, that most luxurious and coveted of wools. Its story begins in the Kashmir region of India, a land of breathtaking beauty and skilled craftsmanship. But the legacy of India extends even to the smallest details of our attire. Consider the humble button, those fasteners that adorn your very own cashmere cardigan. These seemingly insignificant objects also have roots in ancient India. Picture the Indus Valley civilization some 5,000 years ago. Here, artisans began shaping seashells into geometric forms, meticulously drilling tiny holes into each one. Initially, these creations served as mere decorations, simple adornments, but as time went on, people discovered a new purpose for them: fastening clothes. Now, let us turn our attention to the world of radio communication. When we think of the pioneers of this revolutionary technology, the name of Marconi often springs to mind. Indeed, he received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1909 for his groundbreaking work. However, there exists an unsung hero in the saga of radio waves, a figure whose contributions have often been overlooked: Sir Jagadish Chandra Bose. Bose revealed the fundamental principles of radio communication as far back as 1895. Imagine this. He generated an electromagnetic wave and directed it across a distance of 75 feet at the town hall in Kolkata. The wave passed effortlessly through walls, ringing a bell and even igniting gunpowder. Marconi, it is said, drew inspiration from Bose's innovations, using his invention, the Mercury Coherer, as a blueprint for his own two-way radio system. Sadly, Bose did not patent his ingenious creation. As a result, recognition for his groundbreaking work came only a century later. Now journey with us to Petra in Jordan, a site that has captivated archaeologists for 2 centuries. In 2024, they unearthed a discovery unlike any they had encountered before: a tomb containing at least 12 complete human skeletons, along with artifacts dating back over 2,000 years. This remarkable find lay right in front of the treasury, Petra's iconic facade. Bronze, iron, and ceramic objects had been carefully placed alongside the deceased, a testament to the reverence with which people honored their loved ones in ancient times. This tomb offers a rare window into the lives of the Nabateans, an ancient group of Arabian nomads who were the master builders of Petra. The objects discovered within the tomb, remarkably preserved, provide invaluable insights into their culture and beliefs. However, the skeletons themselves have become fragile due to the damp conditions within the tomb. Scientists plan to study the remains and extract DNA, hoping to determine if the individuals buried there were related. While some scientists delve into the mysteries of ancient tombs, others are harnessing the power of artificial intelligence to locate new archaeological sites. They have developed an algorithm that analyzes a specialized form of satellite imagery. This innovative technique employs radio waves capable of penetrating beneath surfaces like sand, soil, and even ice, revealing hidden objects that would otherwise remain concealed. The AI will be deployed to search a vast desert on the Arabian Peninsula known as the Empty Quarter, seeking archaeological treasures buried beneath its sands. The lead scientists trained the algorithm to recognize potential sites using data from a previously discovered location. This advanced technology can pinpoint buried structures with remarkable precision, accurate to within 20 inches. Another groundbreaking technology, LiDAR, light detection and ranging, has revolutionized archaeology, enabling the discovery of hidden cities around the world. LiDAR can penetrate dense vegetation to reveal large structures and map subtle changes in ancient landscapes. This technology allows researchers to scan vast areas from small aircraft, studying locations that are difficult or impossible to access on foot, such as dense jungles. In 2024 alone, LiDAR has led to the discovery of new Maya settlements in southern Mexico, intricate garden systems, roads, and rivers in Ecuador's Amazon rainforest, ancient ruins on the Pacific island of Tonga, and the remains of 2 medieval cities along the Silk Road route in Uzbekistan. Perhaps one day, this smart technology will also shed light on a more whimsical mystery: the presence of Marge Simpson in an ancient Egyptian tomb dating back 3,000 years. A drawing discovered within the tomb bears an uncanny resemblance to the famous cartoon character, featuring a woman with yellow skin, a blue crown, and a green outfit. Even if you don't see the resemblance, you can still marvel at an exquisitely preserved necklace adorned with amethyst and agate beads. This necklace comes from another recent Egyptian find, an ancient tomb containing 11 sealed burials near Luxor. Archaeologists also unearthed 2 copper mirrors, one featuring a lotus-shaped handle and the other adorned with a unique design representing the deity of the sky, women, fertility, and love in ancient Egypt. The hair of the figurine was originally crafted from nearly 4,000 mud beads. Another remarkable discovery from 2024 is an ancient Greek shrine, complete with intact burials, a sarcophagus, and a wealth of gold artifacts. Experts believe the shrine was built. Imagine stepping back in time, long before our modern era. Picture this. Before the year 300 of the Common Era, magnificent marble lions were crafted. These weren't just any lions, they were sculpted from the very same marble used to build the Parthenon in Athens. Greece, a land overflowing with ancient relics, boasts so many treasures that the city of Thessaloniki is preparing to house approximately 300,000 of these artifacts within its new subway system. Meanwhile, in France, archaeologists have stumbled upon a monument unlike anything they've ever seen. Its purpose remains a mystery, yet it stands as undeniable evidence of human habitation between the Neolithic period and the early Iron Age. The most intriguing aspect: the monument comprises 3 unique shapes fitting together with the precision of puzzle pieces. Traces of gravel discovered within the monument suggest the presence of a wooden fence, a palisade, perhaps erected for protection or as a decorative boundary by its builders. Through meticulous study of the surrounding soil layers, the team hopes to unlock the secrets of its origins. So far, only sharp flintstones, tools characteristic of the Neolithic period, have been unearthed at the site. The next crucial step involves radiocarbon dating, a technique to precisely determine the age of this enigmatic site. Now, let's journey to northwest China, near the edge of the Taklamakan Desert, where the oldest saddle ever discovered emerged from the grave of a woman. This remarkable find, meticulously crafted from pieces of leather sewn together and padded with straw and animal hair for comfort, predates all others. Typically, organic materials like these succumb to decay over time. However, the extreme aridity of the Taklamakan Desert acted as a preservative, safeguarding this artifact through the ages. The herdswoman, buried in her complete riding attire, provides compelling evidence that women, too, used saddles in herding and traveling. Our next destination, Guatemala. Here, an exquisite jade mask, crafted by the ancient Maya people, lay hidden for centuries, awaiting discovery. Through radiocarbon dating, scientists are working to determine the precise age of this artifact. The mask is believed to depict a Maya storm deity, a powerful figure within their mythology. Such masks were often commissioned to honor Maya royalty, destined to be placed within the tombs of kings and queens upon their burial. The king's tomb itself was adorned with intricate carvings, fashioned using tools made from volcanic obsidian. In a monumental discovery, after 15 years of relentless searching, scientists may have finally pinpointed the source of Stonehenge's altar stone. By comparing the minute minerals within the altar stone with rocks from various locations in Wales and England, they systematically eliminated numerous possibilities. Ultimately, they found a perfect match with a site in Scotland, a staggering 466 miles from Stonehenge. This area may even be linked to Orkney, a cluster of islands off the northeastern coast of Scotland, a region of significant activity during the Neolithic period. The burning question now: how did ancient people transport such a colossal stone across such vast distances? The altar stone, measuring over 16 feet in length and weighing more than 6 tons, heavier than a modern-day pickup truck, presents a logistical puzzle. The prevailing theory suggests that boats were used to navigate the coastline and rivers. Nearing Stonehenge, the stone was likely dragged across the land using wooden sleds, ropes, and an immense amount of coordinated teamwork. Meanwhile, in northern France, the construction of a new house unearthed an ancient home. This discovery turned out to be a luxurious urban residence dating back to the 2nd century of the Common Era, belonging to the elite. A devastating fire ravaged the interior of the house. However, beneath the layer of destruction, remarkably preserved, were stunning life-sized fresco paintings. In Turkey, archaeologists have unearthed the arm and foot bones of elephants that roamed the land approximately 9 million years ago. Alongside these impressive remains, technology, our smartphones, computers, and tablets all share a common lineage with this ancient device. Speaking of which, have you ever considered the odometer? This ubiquitous device, found in every car, tracks the distance we travel. While modern odometers are digital, the underlying technology was originally mechanical, and the ancient Greeks were the first to invent it. Some accounts even attribute its creation to Archimedes himself. The Romans later adopted the odometer, using it to measure distances during their extensive road construction projects. The ancient Greeks were also pioneers in the field of geometry. While civilizations like the Babylonians and Egyptians employed geometry for practical purposes, the Greeks sought to establish its principles through logical reasoning. Archimedes, for example, famously observed that an object submerged in water displaces a volume of water equal to its own. And what about the Hippocratic Oath? This solemn pledge, recited by doctors before they begin their practice, embodies principles that we now take for granted: patient confidentiality, the duty to heal, and the commitment to saving lives. But these concepts originated with the ancient Greek physician Hippocrates. Beyond the oath, Hippocrates spearheaded a scientific revolution in medicine. In an era where illness was often attributed to divine punishment, Hippocrates sought natural explanations for disease. The ancient Greeks remarkably understood as early as 460 BCE that diseases arose naturally and that the human body could respond in diverse ways. A concept that seems self-evident to us now was a revolutionary breakthrough then. Aristotle, a towering figure of that era, was the first to posit that our planet is a sphere. Moreover, we owe him a debt of gratitude for the very existence of movies, TV series, and theatrical performances as we know them. The ancient Greeks, with their profound ingenuity, invented theater, and Aristotle codified its principles. He penned the first rules of drama, guidelines that still inform directors and screenwriters on how to captivate an audience. Greek playwrights explored a spectrum of genres, crafting tragedies, satires, and comedies. All of this laid the cornerstone for Western culture, which is why even today, directors find inspiration in staging ancient Greek plays. And this is just a glimpse of their vast contributions. So, it stands to reason that they possessed the acumen to conceive of the Antikythera mechanism. Now let's indulge in a thought experiment. Imagine that another species, perhaps humanoid or even dolphin-like, thrived millions of years ago. How would we unearth traces of their existence? In a Doctor Who episode, a fascinating premise was explored: a non-human industrial civilization, the reptilian Silurians, predating our own. Forced underground by a drastic surge in Earth's temperature, they flourished for centuries. This inspired scientists to formulate the Silurian hypothesis. If an advanced civilization preceded us, surely we should find some vestige of their presence. So, where do we begin? Climatologist Gavin Schmidt and astrophysicist Adam Frank decided to tackle this enigma. Like us, any technologically advanced civilization would possess an insatiable hunger for energy. Therefore, they reasoned, we should seek global-scale effects that would have left an indelible mark. Telltale signs of large-scale industrial processes, the remnants of plants and factories. Then the question arises, how long would such a civilization endure? If their reign was lengthy, we should be searching for enduring markers. Residues from the combustion of fossil fuels, evidence of mass extinction events, synthetic chemicals absent from the natural world, perhaps even traces of nuclear fission. Essentially, we would be looking for the very same fingerprints that humanity is currently leaving behind as testimony to our activities. Unfortunately, the task of finding this evidence is far from simple. Consider a sobering scenario. If humanity were to vanish abruptly, despite the profound changes we've wrought upon the planet, a future civilization millions of years hence might struggle to detect any remnants of our existence. Why? Our planet has existed for an astonishing 4.5 billion years. Complex life has graced Earth for over 400 million years. In contrast, our industrial era has barely spanned 300 years, leaving relatively faint traces. The geological record is riddled with gaps, particularly as we delve further into the past. The fossil record is selective and incomplete. On average, a single fossil emerges every 10,000 years, and dinosaur footprints are even scarcer. Mountains rise and erode, oceans shift, and the relentless forces of plate tectonics can obliterate entire civilizations. After a few million years, the physical markers of a civilization would likely vanish. To find anything at all, we would need to scrutinize subtle clues like unusual sediment patterns or anomalous isotopic ratios. Moreover, fossils predominantly form in aquatic environments, leaving us largely ignorant of the creatures that roamed the land or inhabited the jungles. Thus, even if a technologically advanced society thrived millions of years ago, even if they surpassed us in technological prowess, we might struggle to find any tangible evidence of their existence. Frank and Schmidt are striving to understand how we could ever hope to detect signs of such a civilization. Discovering actual cities would be the ultimate confirmation of a Silurian-style civilization on Earth. However, Adam Frank remains cautious. Even today, our cities occupy less than 3% of the Earth's surface, making it easy to overlook ancient urban ruins. Whether a city endures for tens of millions of years hinges on the geological fate of its surroundings, whether the land is sinking, becoming embedded in rock, or rising, only to be eroded by wind and rain. Perhaps places like the French Quarter in New Orleans, with its propensity for sinking, stand a slightly better chance of enduring the eons. The chances of unearthing actual artifacts are incredibly slim. Imagine trying to find a prehistoric iPhone after millions of years. No fancy glass would survive the ravages of time. Discovering fossilized remnants of technology might be slightly more promising, but it's still a monumental challenge. Modern humans have only walked the Earth for approximately 100,000 years. It's entirely plausible that we could easily overlook traces of an earlier, advanced civilization. However, there is another possibility. We might stumble upon subtle traces of their existence embedded within the very rocks beneath our feet. Our current, rather chaotic era could leave a distinctive signature on Earth's geological record, especially as we appear to be living through a second Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum (PETM) event. More on that shortly. Scientists analyze changes in the carbon cycle. Since the 18th century, humans have been unleashing vast quantities of fossil carbon into the atmosphere. This leaves a unique fingerprint in the carbon isotope ratio, a telltale difference between the carbon found in living organisms, like seashells, and the carbon locked away in lifeless volcanic rock. They also scrutinize the arrangement of sediments. The presence of enormous coastal deltas might suggest the existence of massive, ancient river systems engineered by this hypothetical civilization. Elevated levels of nitrogen could point to large-scale agricultural practices involving extensive fertilizer use. Spikes in metal concentrations within the sediment could indicate runoff from large-scale industrial activity. Of course, a single isolated finding wouldn't prove anything. The crucial element is identifying multiple corroborating indicators. Without tangible artifacts, the uniqueness of such an event might be revealed through a combination of subtle clues, rather than a series of changes attributable to a single cause. In this quest for telltale clues, some scientists have even turned their attention to the Moon. Surprisingly, this avenue of investigation has been largely unexplored. Some astronomers have even playfully speculated about the possibility of dinosaurs developing rocket technology and leaving their mark on the lunar surface or other celestial bodies. These astronomers propose that Earth-like planets tend to erase evidence of past civilizations from their surfaces. Therefore, they are entertaining the possibility that these beings may have been spacefaring. In that case, remnants of their technology, known as technosignatures, might be lurking not only on our moon, but also on asteroids or even buried beneath the Martian surface, where they could potentially endure for millions or even billions of years. Regrettably, despite delving into the last 380 million years of Earth's history and meticulously examining numerous suspicious events, researchers have yet to find definitive proof of a technological civilization. They remain undeterred. Frank advocates for further investigation. He suggests studying how contemporary industrial chemicals persist within ocean sediments. This research, he believes, could aid in identifying similar chemical traces within Earth's ancient geological record. But why even pursue such a 2.5 centuries, and advancements in glassmaking technology allowed scientists to create contact lenses that fit snugly on the eye and even allowed the wearer to blink. Progress. Yet these early lenses were crafted from heavy-blown glass and didn't allow the eye to breathe. Around 50 years later, contact lenses transitioned to plastic, becoming lightweight, shatterproof, and scratch-resistant, though they still covered the entire eye's surface. Then, in 1948, an English optical technician stumbled upon a breakthrough. While sanding down a plastic lens, he realized that it would stay in place even if it only covered the cornea. Imagine yourself in 19th century London, needing to send an urgent message to New York. In those days, it would take about 10 days for a ship to deliver it. So, when the delivery time plummeted from days to mere hours in 1858, it was nothing short of a sensation. Queen Victoria herself sent the inaugural message. This marvel was made possible by the transatlantic telegraph cable stretching across the ocean floor. Unfortunately, this groundbreaking invention was short-lived, lasting only a few weeks before failing. It would take years of effort to revive it. Now, let's journey to Judea, where scientists have made an extraordinary discovery: a previously unknown pyramid buried beneath the sands. After careful excavation, they unearthed treasures untouched for over 2 millennia, along with historical secrets that we are only now able to unlock. At the Zohar Fortress site, perched 2,600 feet above the Dead Sea, archaeologists were on a quest for manuscripts that might shed new light on the history of the site. The excavation was part of an ongoing campaign by authorities to protect the site from looting and unauthorized digging. What they found exceeded their wildest expectations: a pyramid-shaped structure built atop a hill, constructed from hand-cut stones, each weighing hundreds of pounds. Initially, the experts believed it was simply a tomb, but the shape of the original walls soon revealed that the mound was a deliberate construction. They quickly realized that someone had previously dug into the top of the structure, likely looters hoping to find something valuable. Fortunately, most of the structure remained buried in the sand, safeguarding the most precious finds. In the first week of the excavation, volunteers unearthed fragments of papyrus, bronze vases, and remarkably well-preserved ancient furniture. The arid desert climate had played a crucial role in preserving these artifacts over the millennia. The low humidity prevented the formation of mold, protecting organic materials like wood and fibers from cracking and warping. Early hypotheses suggested that the pyramid dated back to the First Temple period. However, more recent evidence suggests this structure is of more recent origin, dating back to the Hellenistic period. Considering this, and the fact that the structure itself is approximately 2,200 years old, it's now believed to have likely emerged shortly after the death of Alexander the Great, the renowned ancient Greek king of Macedonia. Imagine the world at that time. Following Alexander's death, his ambitious generals carved up his vast empire. The former Seleucid Empire was divided, with Ptolemy seizing control of Egypt and its surrounding territories, including the strategic Dead Sea region. Meanwhile, Seleucus established his dominion over the northern territories, encompassing what we now know as parts of the Middle East. A world of intrigue and power struggles unfolded. The question remains: was this pyramid constructed under Ptolemaic or Seleucid rule? Both Ptolemaic and Seleucid coins have been unearthed at the site, adding to the mystery. Nevertheless, many scholars lean towards the theory that it was built during Ptolemaic control, but the story doesn't end there. Evidence indicates that the building, despite its enduring presence, eventually succumbed to collapse. Yet, this wasn't the reason it was abandoned by its builders. So, what purpose did this structure serve? Some propose it was a tomb, drawn to its commanding location atop a hill, a fitting resting place. Others suggest it may have been a monument, a testament to a bygone era. However, a compelling theory suggests the pyramid functioned as a guard tower, protecting a vital trade route along which precious resources, salt and bitumen, were transported from the Dead Sea to bustling coastal ports. Picture caravans laden with goods, winding their way through the desert landscape. Furthermore, it's believed that Ptolemaic officials may have used it to collect taxes from travelers, a system akin to modern-day toll booths or even port inspection agencies. Imagine the scene: officials scrutinizing goods, collecting dues, and ensuring the smooth flow of commerce. The papyrus documents discovered within the structure hold their own secrets. Though their precise contents remain elusive, it's highly probable they were written in the Greek alphabet. Some experts even speculate they could be tax documents, perfectly aligning with the guard tower theory. The archaeological team views this find as a captivating historical enigma, one that their dig is slowly helping to unravel. But they acknowledge that this discovery is merely a grain of sand in a vast desert of history. This dig is part of a much grander project, one that has been ongoing for years. In the last 8 years alone, the project has meticulously scanned 111 meters of desert cliffs, identifying approximately 900 caves within that area. Using advanced rappelling equipment, cutting-edge technology, and specialized documentation methods, these intrepid archaeologists have unearthed a treasure trove of rare artifacts: hidden scrolls containing ancient wisdom, woodworking tools offering glimpses into daily life, carpets, leather goods, and even glittering treasures. For them, the Judean desert is an ancient vault, patiently waiting to be opened and reveal its hidden secrets. Years before the discovery of the mysterious pyramid, the team stumbled upon a cave that had served as a refuge for Jewish rebels nearly 1900 years ago. This remarkable site was located approximately 262 feet from the top of a treacherous cliff. Its inaccessibility had kept it hidden from explorers for centuries. Inside, they found previously unknown fragments of the Dead Sea Scrolls, containing religious passages meticulously written in Greek. 11 lines of text were painstakingly reconstructed, piecing together fragments of the past. Thanks to the remarkable condition of the papyri, scientists were able to decipher their etymological content, unlocking the meaning of these ancient words. Crucially, the preservation was exceptional. The arid and scorching conditions of the desert had preserved these artifacts in impeccable condition, a testament to the power of nature. And there were other historical treasures awaiting discovery. The teams unearthed rare coins, offering a glimpse into ancient economies. They also found a partially mummified skeleton, over 6,000 years old, complete with preserved skin, tendons, and even strands of hair, a haunting reminder of lives lived millennia ago. Adding to the wonder, they discovered a giant basket meticulously crafted from plant fibers. This incredible artifact is considered the oldest of its kind in the world, dating back more than 10,000 years. With a capacity of up to 26 gallons, it was created approximately 6,000 years before the invention of ceramics, highlighting the ingenuity of our ancestors. Speaking of historical treasures, another has recently captured the attention of the scientific community. A small piece of fabric, approximately 3,800 years old, but this is no ordinary piece of cloth. It's dyed with a rare scarlet paint, a color frequently mentioned in ancient religious texts. This find represents the oldest known evidence of fabric painted with a dye derived from insects, specifically scarlet worms. These tiny creatures are the source of the fabric's intense red hue. Scarlet dye was a highly prized color, alongside royal blue and purple, because the insects from which it was derived lived in oak trees and could only be harvested for a short period each year. These precious dyes were reserved for sacred fabrics, adorning the clothes of priests and signifying status and royalty. Imagine stepping back nearly 4 millennia, a time of ancient civilizations and emerging technologies. Archaeologists made a remarkable discovery in 2016 within the Cave of Skulls. A fragment, seemingly insignificant due to its diminutive size, less than an inch, held secrets to the past. The question lingered: how did this tiny piece of fabric find its way into this cave? Experts believe this fragment provides compelling evidence that the art of dyeing wool fibers existed roughly 3,800 years ago. Furthermore, it suggests that the ancient textile industry was already utilizing animal resources around the same time humans began developing written language. While fabrics dyed in similar manners have been documented in more recent historical periods, the true significance of this fragment lies in its unparalleled age. In 1980, another astonishing discovery occurred. A seed, thousands of years old, was unearthed and, imagine a realm so vast you could journey over 1,800 miles westward and still find yourself enveloped beneath its sprawling green canopy. This is a sanctuary unlike any other, a refuge teeming with an astonishing array of life. Nearly a tenth of all species on Earth call this place home. For generations, it's been seen as a pristine, untamed wilderness, a place untouched by the heavy hand of humanity. A window, perhaps, into a world as it existed before mankind's relentless spread across the continents, leaving its mark on every corner of the globe. We speak, of course, of the Amazon. This colossal jungle holds secrets that have captivated explorers and scientists for centuries. Whispers of lost cities, buried deep within its emerald embrace, have fueled countless expeditions. Tales of El Dorado, the fabled city of gold, drove Spanish conquistadors to madness, plunging them into the unknown, never to return. Even in the 20th century, the intrepid Percy Fawcett ventured into the green abyss in search of the mythical city of Z, only to vanish without a trace, leaving behind a legacy of mystery. But now scientific evidence is emerging, hinting at the reality of these ancient Amazonian metropolises. How did they manage to unearth these lost worlds, concealed within such a dense and impenetrable landscape? The answer lies in a remarkable technology known as LiDAR. Picture this: scientists soaring above the jungle canopy in a helicopter, armed with light-based remote sensing equipment. This advanced system digitally peels away the layers of vegetation, revealing the hidden contours of a vast urban settlement near Llanos de Mojos in the Bolivian Amazon. This was once the heartland of the Casarabe culture, a civilization that flourished from 500 to 1400 CE. They constructed monumental urban centers, adorned with towering platforms and imposing pyramid structures. An intricate network of elevated causeways linked these urban cores to sprawling suburban settlements, stretching across miles of the landscape. These people were visionaries, masters of engineering far ahead of their time. They engineered sophisticated water management systems, complete with reservoirs and canals, a testament to their ingenuity. The Amazon rainforest was not merely an untouched wilderness, it was a vibrant, heavily populated region, even urbanized for centuries before the recorded history of the area even began. Yet for a long time, many turned a blind eye to the architectural wonders that lay hidden beneath the foliage, wonders that deserved to be explored and understood. Now, scientists predict that within the next decade or two, we will uncover countless more of these lost cities, some potentially even larger than those already discovered. Michael Heckenberger, a distinguished anthropologist from the University of Florida, notes that similar settlement patterns, including mounds and causeways, have been observed in other regions of the ancient Amazon. This groundbreaking research unveils a startling truth. Previous examples of urbanism in the Amazon were more akin to clusters of interconnected villages, lacking the defining characteristics of true urban centers. They lacked the grand architecture and monumental structures that define a city. But Llanos de Mojos possesses these very elements. It is a genuine example of a fully urbanized Amazonian landscape. In the Llanos de Mojos region, a multitude of ancient settlements have been identified. These were once home to the Casarabe people, who thrived on hunting, fishing, and the cultivation of maize. Hundreds of sites are scattered across an area spanning 1,700 square miles. However, their remote location, deeply concealed within the tropical forest, made them incredibly difficult to find, like searching for a needle in a haystack. Undeterred, a team of dedicated archaeologists took to the skies, employing advanced LiDAR mapping technology. Imagine an aircraft gliding over the landscape, emitting pulses of infrared light. These beams strike the ground and bounce back, providing precise measurements of the distance to various objects. It's akin to creating a highly detailed map from above. Using sophisticated computer software, these brilliant scientists were able to digitally remove the dense vegetation from the images, exposing the underlying surface and revealing the ancient archaeological treasures hidden beneath. And what a discovery it was! They unearthed an astonishing 26 distinct sites, including 11 that were previously unknown. So what can we say about these 26 remarkable sites? Among them are Landivar and Kotoka, two prominent urban centers. While their existence was already known, the new LiDAR maps revealed their true scale, covering approximately 1.5 square miles each. These centers are... Imagine, deep within the Amazon rainforest, we stumble upon something extraordinary, ancient settlements fortified with moats and ramparts, echoing the grandeur of medieval castles. But this is no European stronghold. It's a lost world hidden beneath the dense canopy. Inside these fortifications, a breathtaking sight unfolds. Artificial terraces rise from the earth, supporting massive platform buildings and towering pyramids that pierce the sky, reaching heights of over 70 feet. What's truly remarkable is the precise alignment of these structures. Each epic building faces north-northwest, as if oriented towards the cosmos itself. This deep connection to the stars and celestial events resonates with other ancient sites scattered across the Amazon, revealing a shared cosmic worldview. Let's pull back, ascend into the sky for a bird's-eye view. Imagine stripping away the dense foliage, revealing the grandeur of these two central hubs in all their glory. And these aren't isolated structures. A complex network of causeways connects them to a constellation of smaller settlements, like spokes radiating from the central hubs of a massive wheel. Canals snake their way out from these urban centers, linking to rivers and the vast Laguna San Jose, a sophisticated water delivery system engineered centuries ago. These ancient people were master landscape architects, completely reshaping their environment according to their intricate cosmology. The only unfortunate aspect? Their impressive architecture was primarily constructed from mud brick. While visually stunning in its time, mud brick lacked the enduring strength of the limestone used by the Maya in Central America. The fate of the Kasarabi people and their settlements remains shrouded in mystery. Archaeological dating suggests their civilization vanished around 1400 CE, long before European explorers set foot in the Amazon. One compelling theory points to a catastrophic drought that crippled the region. Intriguingly, researchers have discovered massive water reservoirs at various sites. Considering the Amazon's reputation for relentless rainfall, this discovery raises tantalizing questions. Were these reservoirs intended for drinking water, or perhaps for cultivating fish and turtles? Whatever their purpose, a series of severe droughts could have led to successive crop failures, forcing entire communities to abandon their homes and seek refuge elsewhere. Now consider this. These thriving communities once flourished in the very same area where the famed explorer Fawcett disappeared while searching for his legendary lost city of Z. Could he have been closer to the truth than anyone imagined? The story goes that Fawcett stumbled upon a fascinating document, Manuscript 512, within the National Library of Brazil. This manuscript, believed to have been penned by a Portuguese explorer, detailed the discovery of an ancient city in 1753. The explorers described majestic arches, imposing statues, and even a temple adorned with intricate hieroglyphs. However, the manuscript offered no clues as to the city's precise location, leaving its secrets tantalizingly out of reach. Fawcett became obsessed with finding this lost city, making it his secondary objective after his primary quest to locate a place he simply called Xeed. After returning to Britain briefly to manage some personal affairs, he embarked on another expedition in 1920, determined to find the elusive city. Despite his unwavering resolve, Fawcett's personal expedition proved unsuccessful. 5 years later, in 1925, Fawcett, his son Jack, and their companion Raleigh Rimmel vanished without a trace in the treacherous Magrosso jungle. Some researchers speculate that Fawcett may have been influenced by information gleaned from indigenous tribes about a place called Kohikugu. Remarkably, Kohikugu was discovered by Westerners in 1925, revealing the ruins of over 20 towns and villages. It's estimated that as many as 50,000 people once called this region home. The subsequent discovery of other earthworks throughout southern Amazonia lends further credence to Fawcett's theories. In 2005, an American journalist penned an article about Fawcett's daring expeditions and groundbreaking discoveries, titling it The Lost City of Z, a name that immediately captured the public's imagination. In 2009, he expanded the article into a full-length book under the same title, and in 2016, the acclaimed writer and director James Gray adapted the book into a major motion picture. However, the story takes a somber turn. Cultivated, from this seed sprouted a mysterious tree named Sheba. For 14 years, scientists nurtured this plant, watching it grow to a height of approximately 10 feet. Eventually, they realized that Sheba could be a member of an extinct lineage of trees that once flourished in the region. Carbon dating placed the seed's origin between 993 and 122 CE. Some speculate that Sheba might even be a biblical tree, traditionally associated with healing properties. While the exact species of the tree remains elusive as it has not yet flowered, analysis reveals that it belongs to the genus Caphora. This genus includes well-known African plants like the myrrh tree, but time revealed something truly extraordinary about Sheba. Its leaves and resins contain compounds with medicinal, antioxidant, and skin-soothing qualities. This suggests that Sheba represents a forgotten lineage of trees, whose resin held medicinal value and was referenced in ancient texts. This discovery casts a new light on how ancient cultures approached botanical medicine. Now let's shift our focus to a more enigmatic possibility. What if the extraterrestrials we often envision, the stereotypical little green men, actually resemble ordinary Earthlings and are living among us in Europe? Specifically, the Iberian Peninsula has become the center of speculation. The reason? Certain components of the Treasure of Villena, a collection of invaluable artifacts from the Iberian civilization, are composed of metal that seems to defy earthly origins. This metal appears to be of meteoritic composition. The Treasure of Villena consists of 59 distinct objects, bowls, bottles, and bracelets. The entire collection weighs approximately 20 pounds, with 18 pounds consisting of remarkably pure 2312-karat gold. For those unfamiliar with metal purity, 23-karat gold is 95.8% pure, therefore 2312-karat gold is even more refined. The remaining percentage typically consists of other metals added to enhance the alloy's strength and durability. The treasure also includes silver, iron, and amber. Most of the artifacts appear straightforward, but two items, a wrought iron bracelet and a hollow hemisphere, stand out as anomalies. The rusty lines on the hemisphere and the unusual color of the bracelet contrast sharply with the pristine gold of the other objects. The mystery began in 1963, when a researcher noticed a dark, leaden metal among the gleaming gold bowls and bottles. This metal displayed a sheen in some areas, while other parts were covered in cracked, rust-colored oxide. Gold, known for its inert nature, typically resists tarnishing and certainly doesn't rust. To determine the origin of this peculiar iron, researchers employed mass spectrometry, a technique that analyzes the mass-to-charge ratio of molecules. The results indicated that the nickel content in the iron closely resembled that found in meteoritic iron. In essence, the bracelet and the hemisphere appear to be of extraterrestrial origin. Determining the precise age of the Treasure of Villena is crucial. This dating would allow scientists to ascertain if the treasure's creation coincides with the beginning of the Iron Age in the Iberian Peninsula. If the dates align, the mystery may be solved. However, if the treasure predates the Iron Age, it raises unsettling questions. The traditional three-age system of archaeology divides prehistory into the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. The Stone Age, while significant, is not relevant to this particular mystery. Let's embark on a journey back in time, comparing the ages of bronze and iron. Picture this. The Bronze Age dawns when our ancestors discovered that merging copper and tin yields a substance far more resilient than either metal alone. This epoch witnessed monumental advancements in tools and weaponry, yet two inventions stand head and shoulders above the rest: the advent of writing systems and the ingenious wheel. Imagine the impact. Then, as the millennia march on, the Iron Age emerges. This era is characterized by the gradual integration of iron into the fabric of daily existence. Iron possessed a remarkable malleability, allowing it to be fashioned into intricate designs with relative ease compared to its bronze predecessors. Now, this was a seismic shift, because iron, especially when transformed into the mighty steel, ushered in unparalleled improvements across all spheres of life. Tools became lighter, more affordable, and demonstrably stronger than their bronze counterparts. Can you grasp the magnitude of this change? Excellent. For years, scholars have engaged in fervent debate, attempting to pinpoint the precise epoch to which certain treasures belong. Do they hail from the post-Garrick era or the twilight years of the Bronze Age? The latest research posits that these artifacts were painstakingly crafted between 400 and 200 BCE, but something feels amiss, doesn't it? To begin with, the Iron Age commenced roughly 500 years after the creation of these objects. Furthermore, ancient artisans could not have possessed the knowledge to manipulate metals that plummeted to Earth approximately 1 million years prior. And while the dating conundrum presents a formidable challenge, a plausible explanation exists for the exceptional craftsmanship displayed in these artifacts. The prevailing theory suggests that these metalworkers stumbled upon a fallen meteorite, granting them the opportunity to meticulously study its composition and unlock its unique properties before incorporating it into decorative pieces. Perhaps they unlocked its secrets through relentless experimentation and astute observation, and once they mastered the art of manipulating this extraterrestrial metal, they proceeded to embellish the artifacts with it. Moreover, the Phoenicians played a significant role in honing their craftsmanship. Granted, the Iberian people had been engaged in metalworking and pottery production long before the Phoenicians established settlements on the peninsula. However, the introduction of novel metalworking techniques, coupled with the arrival of the potter's wheel, empowered them to produce superior goods at an accelerated pace. So, we've managed to unravel the extraterrestrial origins of the Iberian artifacts, but prepare yourself, for this region remains shrouded in mystery. The source of this lingering intrigue lies in their enigmatic language. You see, for the majority of modern languages spoken today, a proto-language exists, a linguistic ancestor from which they evolved. For instance, Italian, Spanish, and French trace their roots back to Latin, hence their shared similarities. But here's where the plot thickens. Iberian was predominantly spoken in the region that now constitutes modern Spain. So why is Spanish so dissimilar to it? The truth is that no contemporary language bears a striking resemblance to Iberian. Perhaps only the Basque language exhibits faint echoes, primarily due to certain parallels observed in their numerical systems. Basque is classified as a language isolate, meaning it is unrelated to any other known languages and stands as the sole language isolate in Europe. The Iberian language remains unclassified to this day. While the scripts in which it was written have been deciphered to varying degrees, the language itself remains largely inscrutable. And take a look at the alphabet employed by the Iberians. Does it not appear as though it originates from beyond our terrestrial realm? But hold on, this notion may be a bit far-fetched. When the Phoenicians arrived on the peninsula, they introduced their alphabet to the Iberians. However, the Iberians were likely disinclined to simply replicate someone else's writing system. Thus, they modified it, transforming it into something entirely distinct. Let's just say they drew inspiration from it and then forged their own path. While linguists can surmise the approximate pronunciation of most characters, a comprehensive translation of the language remains elusive. The Iberian language, classified as non-Indo-European, gradually faded into obscurity over 2 millennia ago, and with no related languages surviving to provide clues, deciphering it presents a monumental challenge. Frustrating, isn't it? Indeed, we possess over 2,000 Iberian inscriptions etched onto tombs, coins, pottery, lead plates, and even cave walls. Yet, aside from a smattering of words, we remain utterly in the dark regarding their meaning. Now, if only we could unlock the secrets of their language, we might discover that they were profound thinkers and visionaries. Alas, we are left to merely contemplate the artistic legacy they bequeathed to us. Iberian culture boasts a wealth of remarkable creations, crafted by exceptionally talented artisans. We're not just talking about metalwork and ceramics, but also intricate sculptures, textiles, jewelry, and other forms of personal adornment. But here's the rub. Life in ancient Iberia was heavily reliant on a strong agricultural foundation to support the luxurious lifestyles of the elite. Imagine the vast fields stretching across the landscape, feeding the society that craved exotic goods. The backbone of Iberian society consisted of farmers and livestock herders. The type of agriculture depended greatly on the region. Travel north in your mind's eye, and the Amazon region is undergoing rapid transformation. Modern pressures from farming, ranching, and energy production are irrevocably altering this extraordinary landscape. The pristine, untouched areas that hold these ancient relics are increasingly vulnerable. We are now engaged in a race against time to document and preserve the remnants of our past before they vanish forever, swallowed by the relentless march of progress. But there is hope. Artificial intelligence, capable of driving cars, designing clothing, and even providing emotional support, is now being harnessed to unlock centuries-old mysteries. Researchers from Yamagata University Institute of Nazca and IBM Japan have deployed a sophisticated deep learning AI model to identify previously unknown Nazca lines. These Nazca lines are distinct white lines etched against the rusty red desert landscape, massive geoglyphs that are best appreciated from the air. Imagine soaring above the arid landscapes of southern Peru. Below us lie the enigmatic Nazca lines. Since their discovery in the 1920s, scientists have strived to unlock the secrets of these colossal markings etched into the desert floor. A vast canvas of straight lines, precise rectangles, striking triangles, and mesmerizing swirls unfolds. And then, the giant figures emerge: a monkey, a whale, a condor, and a hummingbird, each a testament to an ancient artistry. Recently, 4 more geoglyphs, the scientific term for these immense drawings, have come to light, revealing a humanoid figure clutching a club, alongside depictions of a fish, a bird, and a pair of legs. What hidden symbolism lies within this intricate tapestry? Why did the Nazca people choose to depict a humanoid form in the desolate desert? Did they even possess a concept of what a humanoid was? Let's journey back through time, delving into history to seek answers to these compelling questions. Over 2 millennia ago, the people of the ancient Nazca culture etched their famous lines into the earth. These geoglyphs have endured the relentless passage of time, preserved by the desert's arid climate and fierce winds. The technique used to create these massive artworks was surprisingly simple. The Nazca people scraped away the dark, upper layer of pebbles, exposing the lighter soil beneath. This contrasting soil, ranging from reddish-brown to yellowish-gray, gives the lines a dynamic appearance, as if they are constantly shifting in the light. It appears the creators initially crafted small-scale models before scaling them up to the monumental designs we witness today. In total, the Nazca lines comprise over 800 straight lines, approximately 300 geometric figures, and 70 depictions of animals and plants. The earliest written mention of these lines appears in a 16th-century chronicle of Peru, where they were initially described as simple trail markers in the desert. However, because these geoglyphs are impossible to fully appreciate from ground level, their true significance remained largely unknown until the 1930s. The advent of commercial air travel allowed more people to witness the lines from above, sparking widespread fascination and intrigue. A decade later, Professor Paul Kosok, during his research, made a remarkable observation. One of the lines aligned perfectly with the setting sun on the day after the winter solstice, the year's shortest day. This led him to propose that the lines held astronomical significance, perhaps serving as a celestial calendar. German researcher Maria Reiche, affectionately known as the Lady of the Lines, championed this theory, dedicating her life to the study of the geoglyphs and suggesting they served astronomical and calendrical purposes. For 40 years, she meticulously studied the lines, literally sweeping them inch by inch. She even moved into a small dwelling near the lines to protect them from damage and encroachment. So the mystery of the Nazca Lines is solved, right? Not quite. In the 1970s, American researchers began to challenge the astronomical interpretation. They pointed out that in a region as arid as Nazca, one of the driest places on Earth, receiving a mere 20 minutes of rainfall per year, water is an invaluable resource. Therefore, the straight lines and trapezoids could be related to water management. Perhaps they functioned as an ancient form of Google Maps, guiding people to locations for rituals aimed at securing water and promoting crop growth. The animal figures, prevalent in the Andes region, may also be linked to water symbolism. Spiders were believed to herald rain, hummingbirds symbolized fertility, and monkeys, native to the Amazon rainforest, represented an abundance of water. While this offers a potential explanation for the choice of symbols, concrete evidence remains elusive. Thus, the quest to decipher the meaning of these mysterious geoglyphs continues. In the 21st century, the Nazca Lines have become a focal point for researchers from Yamagata University. Professor Masato Sakai, an archaeologist, and his team employ high-resolution aerial photography and drones to discover and catalog the lines. They have uncovered images of humans, camelids, birds, orca whales, cats, and snakes, most likely created between 100 BCE and 300 CE. Many of these images are relatively small, ranging from 10 to 20 feet in length, making them difficult to detect. In contrast, the largest geoglyphs stretch across an astounding 1,200 feet, roughly the height of the Empire State Building. The researchers now believe that the Nazca Lines served as a form of communication within the desert landscape. The linear designs may have indicated routes between valleys, while those etched on slopes appear to follow ancient pathways connecting settlements. Professor Sakai suggests that the discovery of new lines is... But the search is incredibly complex. Imagine vast stretches of desert, and these lines, some so faint they're barely visible even from above. Many are in such poor condition, eroded by centuries of wind and weather, that spotting them in aerial photographs is a real challenge. Then there's the modern world to contend with. Irrigation systems crisscross the landscape, roads carve their way through the ancient designs. All of this complicates the already difficult task of discovery, and that's where the power of artificial intelligence steps in. The research team began by feeding the AI images of previously discovered Nazca Lines. The AI learned to recognize the subtle patterns, the telltale signs of these ancient geoglyphs. Then the AI was unleashed on a mountain of data, countless hours of footage taken from planes and satellites, along with laser data from previous surveys. Its mission? To identify lines that had eluded human eyes. The results were staggering. The AI system worked an incredible 21 times faster than human researchers. It sifted through the data, pinpointing potential new discoveries. Scientists then ventured out to these locations, boots on the ground, to verify the AI's findings. In 2019, the AI's efforts led to the unearthing of a truly intriguing geoglyph, a humanoid figure with a distinctly rectangular head, holding what appears to be a stick, and adorned with a headdress. This enigmatic character became a real puzzle for scientists, who are still trying to decipher its role in this ancient society. And this little humanoid is located near another famous geoglyph. It's a hermit, a unique type of hummingbird that inhabits the dense forests of northern and eastern Peru. These birds, like the geoglyph, add another layer of mystery to the Nazca lines. One of the largest of the newly discovered geoglyphs is a depiction of a pair of legs. These colossal limbs stretch over 250 feet across, dwarfing even iconic landmarks. Imagine, legs nearly 4/5 the height of Big Ben etched into the desert floor. Could this be an homage to some ancient supermodel, a forgotten deity of stature and grace? The fish and the bird geoglyphs are considerably smaller, about a quarter of the size of the legs. The question remains, why are they there? What stories do they tell? The mystery of their placement continues to intrigue researchers. But discovering new geoglyphs is just one facet of AI's contribution to science. In the realm of astronomy, AI is proving to be an invaluable tool. It can analyze immense datasets of astronomical information, using its complex algorithms to identify patterns, classify celestial objects, and even predict new cosmic events. AI models have been developed to detect and categorize galaxies, search for exoplanets orbiting distant stars, and identify those rare and fleeting cosmic phenomena that might otherwise go unnoticed. AI also played a crucial role in analyzing data from the Kepler mission, leading to the discovery of new Earth-sized planets circling stars far beyond our solar system. The transformative power of AI extends to the field of chemistry as well. Machine learning algorithms can now predict chemical reactions, discover entirely new compounds, and optimize complex chemical processes. This dramatically reduces the time and resources required for scientific breakthroughs in the laboratory. Anyone who has ever tackled a major research paper or thesis understands the sheer volume of information that must be analyzed. Now imagine, seemingly improbable quest? This research stems from recent papers by Schmidt and Frank, who have been investigating the Anthropocene, the proposed geological epoch defined by the overwhelming impact of human activities on Earth. The Anthropocene is punctuated by events known as hyperthermals, prehistoric episodes characterized by rapid and dramatic increases in Earth's temperature over relatively short periods, essentially ancient extreme heat waves. A prime example is the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum, or PTM, which occurred approximately 55.5 million years ago. During this period, global temperatures soared. Over a span of 200,000 years, the average temperature climbed from roughly 9 degrees Fahrenheit to a scorching 14 degrees Fahrenheit. By studying these hyperthermals, scientists seek to understand the underlying causes, whether they are natural phenomena or the result of human activities. These hyperthermals served as the catalyst for Frank and Schmidt's research. To investigate them, scientists began analyzing chemical signals and other tracers preserved within rocks. In doing so, Schmidt and Frank discovered striking parallels between contemporary climate challenges and past periods of rapid temperature change. The similarities between the PETM and other hyperthermal events are particularly noteworthy. Ultimately, this research extends far beyond solving a historical enigma. By gaining a deeper understanding of our impact on the environment, we can strive to find more sustainable ways to coexist with our planet and avoid becoming a forgotten footnote in Earth's history ourselves. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, teems with countless planets, many of which could potentially harbor life as we know it, or life as we don't. But as of yet, Earth remains the singular oasis of life that we've definitively confirmed. Imagine, centuries ago, learned minds seriously pondered the possibility of civilizations thriving on Mars. It was a legitimate scientific inquiry. However, with the advent of space probes delivering detailed images, that particular hypothesis faded, relegated to the realm of speculation. Today, it's rarely considered a serious topic of scientific investigation. Yet, intriguingly, we haven't established firm boundaries on what might have transpired on our own planet in the distant past. So, even in the absence of concrete proof, we shouldn't dismiss the possibility of advanced ancient civilizations out of hand. Remember, it took humanity considerable time to even recognize the existence of dinosaurs. Perhaps some other intelligent species are simply biding their time, awaiting discovery. Picture this. You're trekking across a scorching desert landscape. The sun beats down mercilessly and your throat is parched. And now an unexpected obstacle, a massive wall blocking your path, a wall in the middle of a desolate, seemingly lifeless expanse? Precisely. In the northern reaches of Saudi Arabia, archaeologists have unearthed a truly remarkable discovery. And it's not just a solitary wall, it's an entire ancient walled city, potentially dating back to 2400 BCE. Experts believe this settlement once housed around 500 inhabitants and thrived for perhaps a millennium. This discovery is nothing short of groundbreaking. It suggests that the region was far more developed than previously imagined. This city was meticulously planned, featuring distinct zones for residential living, imposing towers and fortifications for defense, and specialized areas catering to all facets of daily life. This ancient city, now known as Al-Nada, functioned essentially as an oasis town. It provides an invaluable glimpse into life in this arid landscape thousands of years ago. The city exhibited clearly defined sectors, including residential neighborhoods, a dedicated cemetery, cultivated farmland, and even a central hub for civic affairs. This oasis settlement, nestled in the Khaybar region, stands as the first substantial organized community from the 2nd or 3rd millennium BCE to be uncovered by researchers in northwestern Arabia. Initial surveys reveal that this town, sprawling across approximately 6 acres, comprised several distinct districts encompassing residential areas, a burial ground, and a legal precinct complete with what appear to be ancient courts. The dwellings were arranged along orderly streets, interconnected by smaller pathways. These streets effectively segregated the residential zone from the rest of the town's activities. In that era, the majority of the region's population consisted of nomadic herders, constantly on the move. However, archaeologists are increasingly convinced that during the Bronze Age, northwestern Arabia was dotted with smaller walled towns and thriving oasis centers. These interconnected oasis settlements were unique, providing secure havens for inhabitants to reside, store provisions, and engage in trade. They represent the nascent stages of urban planning, hinting at a growing trend towards settled communities and more sophisticated social organization. The research team estimates that Al-Nada originally contained around 50 homes, but that number could potentially climb to 70 as excavations continue. They surmise that several hundred people resided within its walls, and perhaps one of the most captivating aspects of this discovery is that some of these dwellings reached heights of up to 3 stories. Strategically positioned on a slope near vital trade routes, this city occupied a particularly advantageous location. One of the most impressive features of Al-Nada is its sophisticated water management system. The oasis boasted natural springs and extensive aquifers, underground reservoirs of water, creating ideal conditions for agricultural pursuits. These reliable water sources enabled residents to cultivate their own food, rendering the town largely self-sufficient. The imposing outer walls likely served to regulate access to the town and its precious resources. This settled lifestyle represents a significant departure from the nomadic existence that predominated the region, marking a transition toward a more agro-pastoral way of life, a blend of farming and animal husbandry. Further bolstering this theory is the abundance of tools discovered within the town's confines, including grinding stones, mortars, and pestles. These implements suggest that the inhabitants routinely processed grains and prepared food. Their diet likely consisted of cereals, meat, and milk, derived from the animals they raised themselves. These astonishing findings demonstrate that the town's inhabitants were readily able to sustain themselves. The sands of Saudi Arabia are yielding their secrets, offering us a glimpse into a past more sophisticated than we ever imagined. recent access granted to archaeologists has dramatically reshaped our understanding of life in this region millennia ago. The discovery at Al Naida is particularly exciting, suggesting it may have been part of an extensive network of fortified oasis towns spread across the landscape. Imagine these interconnected sites, bustling hubs of activity, revealing the intricate workings of trade routes and settlements in this arid environment. This could rewrite history books. But the discoveries don't stop there. Let's journey to Egypt, where the Mediterranean has relinquished a treasure trove of ancient secrets. Divers exploring the lost city of Thonis Heracleion, a legendary metropolis swallowed by the sea over 1,000 years ago, have unearthed a stunning collection of gold and silver artifacts. This city, a mere myth until its rediscovery in 2000, continues to reveal its secrets. These precious objects, likely used in rituals to bless the pharaohs upon their ascension to the throne, offer a tantalizing glimpse into the opulence of the past. The team even found the ruins of an ancient Greek temple dedicated to Aphrodite, alongside archaic Greek weaponry. Frank Gaudio, the lead archaeologist, expressed astonishment at the survival of these delicate artifacts, defying the catastrophic forces that brought the city to its knees. Thonis Heracleion, in its heyday, stood as one of the Mediterranean's most vital port cities, a vibrant hub of social interaction and the primary gateway for ships arriving from Greece. But tragedy struck as rising sea levels, seismic activity, and a devastating tidal wave conspired to liquefy the soil beneath the city, causing its complete submersion. Lost to time until Gaudio's team rediscovered it at the turn of the millennium, Thonis Heracleion is slowly surrendering its secrets, piece by painstaking piece. And if a sunken city isn't enough to capture your imagination, prepare to be amazed by what lies hidden within the Amazon. For centuries, whispers of lost cities, like the mythical El Dorado, a city paved with gold, have echoed through the jungle, luring explorers to their doom. Many never returned. In the early 20th century, the British explorer Percy Fawcett ventured into the unknown in search of what he termed the lost city of Z, only to vanish without a trace. But now, science has vindicated the legends. A team of researchers, employing a technology called LIDAR, which uses light beams to penetrate dense jungle foliage, has uncovered concrete proof of these long-lost Amazonian cities. Flying over the